it's so bright out.
I'm glad you can. That's what it is. Glad you can. Look at this from the back. She is. She is. And we'll see you. And you know what, to tell you the truth, you're going to be here for a couple of days. I would not be surprised if she wants to do something with you. And I know Bishop Museum is not her.
It's a different environment. Probably, yeah. Am I in the way? Okay. You're gonna go this way.
No, it's interesting, but so it was. They were built separate. Look, the kitchen is made of stone, and then there's a kitchen. So were they built simultaneously, or was the kitchen added later?
The kitchen was added later,
Right, that
so
makes
remember
sense.
how there were coral stones
Right.
where
That
they
makes
had it
sense.
outside?
Because it would have been hot. So that makes perfect sense.
Yeah.
They put up the house, and the next thing, of course.
They had two
Yeah.
kitchens. The frame house you see is all made of wood. So they had two kitchens, one on this side and the other, and that one was taken down.
And look here, it's all coral block.
It's all coral.
It's all coral.
Yeah, except for the beehive oven that's made of brick.
Yeah.
But it's like
yeah.
a pizza oven.
Yeah.
Oops.
Sorry. And the
Yeah,
same-
wooden. Wood would be the fuel. Yeah, and they put the wood way back and let it become. So this is the print house. I'm just going to turn the lights on because it seems dark in here.
All right, and I'm out.
Okay. So this is. Huh?
It's very good.
Isn't it cool?
It's very cool.
So this is the press that they would have brought something like this back in the 1820s. But this is a replica that was built in 1966 by Honolulu Community College students.
Interesting.
Yeah, and it actually functions. We can make prints off of it, and we do when our students come. This is actually a real replica. It's a book binder. So that's from, over 200 years that they would have brought. But yeah, this is heavy. This is mahogany, steel, and different parts. But yeah, we were talking about how smart Hawaiians were actually, and they did learn to read and write quickly. Within that 30 years, it was one of the most literate countries in the world. 40% of the population could read and write. Whereas in America, the United States, basically, the mainland, only 20% could read and write. And even in Europe, 30% of the population could read and write. So that's pretty key. So the missionaries translated the Bible into this Hawaiian. This is a replica of the Hawaiian Bible, and it's over 3,000 pages. And they translated it from Hebrew and Greek, and this is what it would have looked like.
So they translated it directly from Hebrew and Greek, not from the English translation?
No.
That's so interesting.
Isn't that interesting?
Yeah.
Hebrew and Greek translation into Hawaiian language. And I guess it's beautifully written. The imagery is really beautiful. I've never read it myself, but yeah, soon after, once Hawaiians were really eager to read anything they could get their hands on. So there were quite a few Hawaiian scholars, and different newspapers, newsletters were being written during the time. But basically it was a lot of Christian-based, material, but also news. Like this is a big fire up in Kilauea, and they actually have an etching of billowing smoke, which I think is pretty cool. So these are all from our archives. We have a lot of the newspapers and writings.
In the World and All the Things Upon It, David Chang writes about the demand for cartographic material and geography books.
Yeah,
Interesting.
Yeah, here is a smaller version of the alphabet, the little primer, the first alphabet book. So the missionaries, I don't know if you know, were responsible for translating the Hawaiian language by using a Western alphabet. So there's 13 letters, 12 actually, and then Akina is also one of part of the Hawaiian alphabet.
That's the little apostrophe, right?
Yeah. So yeah, this is pretty much what it would have looked like. You would have had at least 5 people in here running the press. It's all manual. You want me to show you how it works? Yes. Okay. So you would have had like a piece of wet paper that was been down. And this is called a chase. This is actually the primer all put together. You put the chase in here, okay, which is all of this type that's been set. Oops, excuse me. So this is the loose type and it's made of lead. And the typesetter would have set all this backwards, mirror image. You can't make a mistake because you can't just white it out or delete it. But it's all set like that. And then they put the chase in here, and you have a wet piece of paper that goes like this. Like everything has to be perfectly centered, as you know. I used to do printmaking, but art stuff. So, this is much more detailed. Well, printmaking is detailed. Anyway, this is the press, this is the block, and somebody would be just doing the press the whole time, like 8 hours a day.
And
Can
when
you hold that back
they
for
say
me?
press, they mean press.
They mean press, that's what we're talking about. And so we still use some of the same language from the first Gutenberg press.
Fresh off the press.
Fresh off the press and the flyer. So then you would have had this, oh, I forgot, you had to have this inked, all the lettering inked with the ink ball, like that. And then press, and this is the doxology that's written in Hawaiian. It's like a prayer before you all know what a doxology is. Oh, and then you would have had this is the job of the flyer. They would have taken this wet ink piece of paper and flown it up here, but that's what we did with the flyer.
That is really cool. Can you do that one more time? Can you do that one more for the photo? That
Okay.
is pretty cool. Okay, I learned something.
Flyer. Oh, well, I have one more thing to teach you. You know how we have uppercase and lowercase letters?
Right.
We still use those terms.
That's
Uppercase is this, the uppercase. That's where.
Oh, you're kidding me.
And
Uppercase
these
and
are the
lowercase.
Because that typesetter would have been really, you know, we're working fast,
Mhm.
and so they would know where all the letters were, right?
That's
Lowercase. Yeah, you got
I had
it.
no idea.
So that's kind of it, but you know, the printing was a big deal in Hawaii. And that's really how they really got the conflicts, because they, you know, translated the language and the Bible, and everybody wanted to read the Bible. And then, well, you had to be a Christian actually to get married. I mean, that's what the elite sort of demanded at one point. Everybody, it was a mandate that everybody be educated. So that's a good thing. I guess, yeah,
Yeah.
you know.
It was a trade-off.
It was a trade-off, but at least we have the language of Hawaii, and we have a lot of the culture preserved. I mean, they're, you know, Navajo is pretty good, Hopi too, but you know,
And
For the
they
most
learned
part,
a lot,
you
they
lose your
learned a lot about
language.
reintroducing it from the line.
yeah.
Because we started, you know how now cultural immersion languages.
Yeah.
The Hawaiian started that too.
Oh, absolutely. And this is Kamehameha schools right here. So there's a lot of cultural, I mean, there was a lot saved in the fact that the missionaries translated the language. So that was a good thing.
You can still see
Yeah.
some of the shells.
Yeah. And we have coffee growing here, but I don't really know what they grew here for the most part, you know, for food. I'm not sure. Ooh. Oh, breadfruit. That's good. There's somebody making flowers out of native plants now, like cooking flowers out of ulu. Any other questions? Did I forget anything? You missed a lot.
No.
Oh,
I recorded
Oh,
it, so.
okay.
Yeah. But thank
Yeah,
you.
you're
I'm gonna go.
welcome.
And it's the palace is two blocks down that way, right?
2 blocks down that way, but maybe Elizabeth's gonna come down here for a second.
Thank you so much. This is
You're
super
welcome.
interesting.
Are you sure you know?
How did you get involved with doing this?
How did I?
Uh-huh.
Well, I'm actually the programs coordinator for schools.
Okay.
So I give kids
tours.
Did you get a good
Not
idea of
adult
everything?
Tours
Yeah,
normally.
Are you still
So I
filming?
have,
Yeah.
you know, there's so much history. I'm only giving you kind of a gloss of it, but that's a lot of information anyway, right? Wonderful. Okay, great, thank you. I normally do kids tours. Yeah, but I'm an artist too, yes. Okay, cool. Yeah, it's a real gift to make this available to people.
I think so. Yeah, the history's amazing.
It really is. Thanks again.
Thanks again.
Thank you.